There was a time when grabbing a burger felt like a treat. I still remember peeling back that warm wrapper, smelling the grilled beef, and taking that first bite with real excitement. But somewhere along the way, something changed. Prices kept climbing, while the burgers themselves got smaller, sloppier, and somehow less satisfying. What used to feel like comfort food now too often feels like disappointment in a paper bag. And that's the heart of it. We're not just spending money, we're spending trust. As consumers, we walk into these chains hoping for a familiar taste. But more and more, we leave frustrated, wondering why we keep giving them another chance. So today, I'm ranking 14 of America's biggest burger chains, not with rose-colored nostalgia, but with the eyes of someone who's been let down one too many times. Which places still deserve your loyalty, and which ones should you avoid at all costs? Before we dive in, make sure you hit like, subscribe, and share your own worst burger experience in the comments, because we've all had one. Now let's start with the biggest heartbreak of all. The brand that taught me disappointment comes in a sesame seed bun. 14. Burger King, a coin flip with my wallet. There was a stretch of time when I honestly believed Burger King had the better burger. Flame broiled, juicy, that smoky Whopper smell. It felt like the grown-up alternative to the Golden Arches. But lately, ordering here feels like rolling dice with my money. One day you get a burger that almost lives up to the commercials. Warm bun, crisp lettuce, a Whopper stacked tall. The next day it arrives looking like it was stepped on, cold cheese glued to the wrapper, and a patty that tastes tired instead of charred. What frustrates me most isn't that it's always bad. It's the inconsistency. I shouldn't have to memorize which exact location in my city still knows how to do its job. A national chain should deliver a national standard, but Burger King turns it into a gamble. And when a meal costs $10 or more, maybe shouldn't be part of the deal. I've walked away from too many limp Whoppers, promising myself never again. Yet the nostalgia keeps pulling me back, and every time I regret it. Consistency isn't optional. It's the baseline. Sadly, Burger King seems to have forgotten that. And if you think that's rough, wait until you hear what happened to the place that defined childhood itself. Number 13, McDonald's. The childhood magic is gone. For many of us, the Golden Arches were the start of fast food itself. Happy meals, birthday parties, road trips. Back then, even a plain cheeseburger felt special. But the truth is that magic has faded. These days, every time I unwrap a McDonald's burger, I brace myself for disappointment. Patties so thin, they practically disappear. A cheese slice that's still stiff and cold. Buns sliding apart like someone tossed it into the box from across the room. Sure, corporate boasts about caramelized patties and improved buns, but the reality never matches the press release. The beef tastes frozen, the build looks rushed, and it leaves me asking why I just spent nearly $10 on something that feels like cafeteria leftovers. It's a betrayal of trust, plain and simple. The worst part? Customers are forced to get creative, stacking menu hacks like the infamous McGangbang just to make the food more interesting. When the highlight of your brand is DIY mashups, you've lost sight of what made you great. If Burger King feels like a gamble, McDonald's feels like a guarantee of letdown. And that's even harder to swallow. But believe it or not, the next chain manages to frustrate me in a completely different way. 12. Wendy's, fresh promise, stale reality. Wendy's once stood apart with a simple pledge: fresh, never frozen. That tagline carried real weight. The square patties felt bold, the flavor sharp, and there was pride in grabbing something different. But lately the word fresh feels like a hollow echo. Burgers arrive looking tired before you've even taken a bite. The patties slump in a soggy bun. The toppings look like they were scooped on as an afterthought. And the overall vibe is messy rather than hearty. For longtime fans like me, the heartbreak is in the details. Remember the bakery-style buns they briefly rolled out around 2013? They had body, texture, and gave the burger some dignity. Then they cut costs, switched back, and it's been downhill ever since. It's not just about bread, it's about trust. When you start shaving pennies at the expense of quality, customers notice immediately. I did, and I haven't looked at Wendy's the same way since. With Burger King unpredictable and McDonald's a shadow of its past, Wendy's should have been the refuge. Instead, it joined the slide, and that leaves me asking, if the old giants can't deliver, who can? 11. White Castle, nostalgia with a price. White Castle is one of those names you almost have to try once. Tiny steamed sliders stacked in a paper sack, onions infused into every bite. On a late night, sure, it scratches a very specific itch. But as someone who's actually gone back, I can't ignore the truth. They look squashed, taste more like onion steam than beef, and leave you regretting it the next morning. I wanted to love them for the history, over 100 years of tradition. But honestly, nostalgia doesn't excuse soggy buns that collapse in minutes. The craving turns into stomach regret faster than I expected. It's not awful, but it's not good either. It's just White Castle, an experience more about novelty than quality. If you're eating at midnight with friends, maybe that charm makes sense. But for an everyday burger, no thanks. And if White Castle feels like a guilty detour, the next chain taught me that even a good burger can't save a broken experience. 10. Steak and Shake. Great burger, painful wait. Here's the cruel irony. Steak and Shake might make one of the best burgers in fast food. Their steak burgers are juicy, seasoned right, and the famous Frisco melt is unforgettable. I've tried to recreate it at home. It never comes close. On taste alone, they should be a contender for the top 5. But here's the problem. You'll grow old waiting at home for it. Service that drags for 30-45 minutes in a drive-thru isn't just inconvenient. It kills the entire point of fast food. Add in messy dining rooms, inconsistent management, and it becomes a heartbreak chain. Brilliant flavor trapped in a failing system. As a consumer, I can't keep rewarding a brand that wastes my time. A burger should be crave-worthy, not patience testing. Steak and Shake proves quality without consistency is still a loss. And then there's Dairy Queen, a brand we never expected to see in this conversation at all. 9. Dairy Queen, the guilty secret. When most people think Dairy Queen, they picture blizzards flipped upside down, not burgers. So imagine my surprise the first time I bit into their flamethrower stack burger. Spicy sauce, smoky beef. It was actually us and good. For a moment, I thought I'd discovered a hidden gem, but then reality set in. Just like Burger King, quality swings wildly. One store nails it, the next one serves a dried-out patty with wilted toppings. It's a chain where your meal depends entirely on whether the teenager behind the counter cares that day. And that's no way to earn loyalty. What really stings is the embarrassment factor. People laugh when you admit you enjoy a Dairy Queen burger. I've said it out loud, and yes, I got the stares. But guilty pleasure or not, inconsistency keeps it from being more than a curiosity. At least it surprised me. And compared to the chains that follow, that little shock of enjoyment still counts for something. We ate Freddy's frozen custard and steak burgers. Crunch or letdown? Freddy's looks nostalgic, red stripes, retro vibes, but the burgers divide people fast. They specialize in the smash style, thin patties pressed hard on a hot griddle, with lacy, crisp edges. The first time I tried it, I thought, okay, this is different. The edges were crunchy, salty, almost like burnt cheese. But after a few bites, I realized something. I missed the juicy heft of a real patty. For fans, Freddy's is unbeatable. They swear the double California rivals in and out, and they'll fight you on it. But as a consumer, I can't pretend it's universal. If you love crunch, of course, Freddy's is your place. If you crave a thick, juicy burger, you'll walk away unsatisfied. The verdict? Freddy's is a specialist. It hits hard for its fans, but leaves the rest of us wondering if we just paid premium prices for beef chips. And if Freddy's left me divided, the next chain left me flat out surprised. 7. Jack in the Box, the overlooked contender. Ask most people about Jack in the Box and they'll mention tacos or curly fries. Burgers rarely enter the conversation. Honestly, I never even thought to order one until curiosity got the better of me. And that's when I found it. The Bacon Ultimate Cheeseburger. 2 patties, bacon, American, and Swiss cheese. Nothing fancy, but the balance shocked me. The bacon didn't overwhelm. It blended. For once, every bite felt even. Not like a salt bomb, It was the kind of burger that makes you pause mid-bite and think, wait, did I just find something? But here's the kicker. Even die-hard Jack fans don't order it. It's the hidden gem on a menu better known for late-night munchies. That tells me something important. The chain doesn't even realize its own strength. As a consumer, that's frustrating. When your best product hides in plain sight, it feels like wasted potential. Still in a sea of disappointments, Jack in the Box earned my respect for surprising me. From here, we leave the hidden gems and step into chains with real regional power and fan bases that defend them like family. 6. Carl's Jr., the pioneer that still matters. Carl's Jr. doesn't get everything right, but I'll give them this. They knew what they were doing back in the late 80s when they created the Western Bacon Cheeseburger. A burger with barbecue sauce, bacon, cheese, and an onion ring. Genius. The first time I tried it, I felt like they had rewritten the rules. Even today, biting into that mix still feels bold, like a reminder that fast food once dared to innovate. But the shine has dulled. Service quality has slipped, and sometimes you can taste the corner cutting in the ingredients. It frustrates me because Carl's Jr. once stood for a little more premium, and now it feels like they're coasting on the memory of their greatest hit. Still, I can't erase the respect I have for the Western Bacon. It was a trailblazer, and the idea has stood the test of time. That keeps Carl's Jr. above the sea of mediocrity. And then there's Whataburger, a chain whose fans will fight to the end to prove their loyalty. 5. Whataburger. Loyalty you can taste. Step into Texas and you'll quickly learn. Whataburger isn't just food, it's a way of life. I didn't believe the hype until I tried it myself. The patties were big, juicy, and, more importantly, consistent. The patty melt oozed with flavor. The sweet and spicy bacon burger hit every note. And for once, I couldn't think of a single menu item I regretted ordering. But the loyalty here goes deeper than the menu. Fans still mourn a discontinued item, the A1 thick and hearty burger. More than a decade after it vanished, people talk about it like a lost friend. That kind of devotion doesn't come easy. It comes from years of delivering the same quality, time and time again. Do I think Whataburger is flawless? No, sometimes the service drags, sometimes the build looks rushed. But compared to the chaos of McDonald's or Burger King, Whataburger feels like stability. And in today's burger world, that stability is rare. From regional legends, we're now stepping into the heavy hitters, the chains that shape the national conversation and set the gold standard. 4. Five Guys. Build it your way. Walking into a Five Guys feels different right away. No flashy screens, no gimmicky promotions, just bags of potatoes, peanuts on the side, and an open grill where you can watch your food take shape. The first time I customized my burger there, I realized something. This was control I never got anywhere else. Grilled mushrooms, jalapenos, A1 sauce, all included, no nickel and diming. And the flavor? Strong, beef forward, with cheese that actually melts into the toppings instead of sliding off. Honestly, it feels like every bite is a reminder of what fast food could be if chains actually cared. The only downside? Price. A fully loaded Five Guys order can hit hard on your wallet, but I'll take pricey honesty over cheap disappointment any day. For once, I leave full, not just in my stomach, but in my trust. And that trust is priceless. But while Five Guys hands you freedom, the next chain thrives on ruthless simplicity. And maybe that's why it works. 3. In-N-Out. The power of keeping it simple. In-N-Out has a reputation that borders on religious, and at first I thought it was just hype. Then I had my first animal-style double-double, and I understood. The menu is short, almost boring at a glance, but that focus means consistency. Every burger looks like the commercial. Fresh lettuce stacked right, melted cheese wrapped tight, buns toasted just enough. What really wins me over is value. In an age where $10 barely buys you a soggy patty elsewhere, In-N-Out serves a burger that feels crafted for a fraction of the price. And the not-so-secret menu adds a sense of belonging, like you're part of the club once you know how to order. It's not fancy, but it doesn't need to be. In-N-Out proves less can be farcium, and that lesson is one the Giants forgot long ago. But if In-N-Out is the king of simplicity, the next chain is the prince of polish. To two, Shake Shack. Gourmet without pretense. Shake Shack started small, but biting into one of their burgers feels like stepping into a higher league. The Smoke Shack, with its smoky bacon, cherry peppers, and that addictive shack sauce, still lingers in my memory as one of the best fast food bites I've ever had. But the real secret? The bun. A potato bun that's soft yet sturdy, toasted just enough to hold its shape without getting soggy. It's such a small detail, but it makes all the difference. When even food icons like Ina Garten confess they crave Shake Shack, you know it's not just hype. Is it pricier than most? Yes. But unlike chains that charge more for less, Shake Shack feels like you're paying for craftsmanship. It's the rare fast food meal where I don't leave muttering about wasted money. Still, even Shake Shack can't match the quiet perfection of the chain that takes my number one spot. 1. Culver's, the Heartland hero. Culver's doesn't rely on gimmicks, no wild mashups, no secret menu codes. Just a simple promise done exceptionally well. The Butterburger. Lightly buttered, toasted buns cradling fresh, never frozen beef. A blend that tastes closer to a sit-down restaurant than a drive-thru. The first time I had one, I remember thinking, this is what a burger is supposed to taste like. Balanced, flavorful, everything in harmony. Meat, bun, toppings, sauces, nothing fighting for attention, everything working together. And it's not just the food, it's the service. Friendly staff who don't treat you like an inconvenience. Consistent quality no matter the location. In a fast food landscape filled with disappointment, Culver's restores a little hope. It's not flashy, but it's reliable. And in 2025, reliability feels like luxury. That's why Culver's isn't just my number one. It's the chain that makes me believe burgers can still be worth it. After walking through all 14 chains, one feeling stands out above everything else: disappointment. We grew up trusting these brands, handing over our money with the expectation of simple comfort food, and far too many of them let us down. Shrunken patties, soggy buns, sloppy assembly. It's not just bad business, it's a broken promise. But here's the truth, we don't have to settle. There are still places proving that a burger can be worth your time, your money, and your trust. Whether it's the customization of Five Guys, the consistency of In-N-Out, the polish of Shake Shack, or the quiet perfection of Culver's, the standard hasn't disappeared. It's just harder to find. As consumers, we need to stop rewarding mediocrity. Don't keep throwing money at chains that treat quality like an optional extra. Demand better because we deserve better. Now it's your turn. Which burger chain has disappointed you the most? And which one still earns your loyalty? Drop your stories in the comments. I want to know I'm not the only one fed up with soggy buns and cold cheese. Because at the end of the day, a good burger isn't too much to ask for, and we should never stop asking.